Okay, in connection with the coronavirus breathing exercises and how to make yourself healthier and get your immune system stronger and get your own ventilator for your natural lung capacity at its optimum, as we face this pandemic, it's so important to bring this issue up now. And that is, we are already in another pandemic. And this pandemic is going to create a lot more job displacement and food shortages. This pandemic is a global climate crisis. And I've been involved with this for quite a while. I've worked with the United Nations in health. I opened up the first holistic health center in New York back in the 70s. Actually, I'll be 77 years old this year, and in 2020. And this issue affects us even more so than the coronavirus. The coronavirus is happening all at once. In a few months, we've gone from everyday la-di-da life to, oh my God, I can't go out, I can't get food, I can't get goods, what's happening, I've lost my job. And so a book that I had published in 2017, before all this happened, and before the Green New Deal came about, it was called the National Modernization Act. And what it says, if we can pan to that, so it says, how to create clean energy, climate stability, infrastructure improvements, abundant jobs, and how to pay for it. So that sounds pretty ambitious. And to have that in a thin little book like this, it was made very clear and concise, so it'd be quick and easy to read for people. And all of those issues, clean energy, climate stability, infrastructure improvements, abundant jobs, and how to pay for it, and why it's important to link this together is abundant jobs. This pandemic that we're going through now with the coronavirus is going to cause a huge displacement of people's jobs. A lot of people won't have the businesses that they were working in to go back to. A lot of businesses that they were working in have to downsize and they're out of the job. So what are we going to do about that? And what we have in this little book, it's called, where it says abundant jobs, where human energy is our most vital energy. It's called an RET, Redeployment, Employment, and Training Program. What is that all about? So the armed forces, when they finish a certain assignment, they don't lay off their personnel. They don't fire them. What they do is they redeploy them, and they employ them for new people coming in, and they also train new people coming in, and they also retrain people that they had deployed elsewhere. Our workforce has to be the same thing. That's why this is called the National Modernization Act. We need to employ our workforce the way we utilize our armed forces. This isn't anything that is undoable. This not only is very doable, but it's also very necessary. And why I'm bringing this up now, linking this with the pandemic, of what we're going through with the coronavirus is that the coronavirus is a micro pandemic. It's caused by a tiny, tiny little virus that we can't even see. Climate change is a micro disease. Our planet is under assault. And there may be still some people that deny climate change, and they're becoming more of a minority because the overwhelming majority of people today, they've already experiencing how much the climate has been changing. And what we're being told and what's dictating what politicians are doing today with the coronavirus pandemic is they're starting to listen to science. Not ignoring it, denying it. Oh, it's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. No, we're taking drastic measures because we haven't prepared ourselves adequately. Now we'll be better prepared. But there's another pandemic going on, which is global climate change. Okay, now for those skeptics, I'm reading this is on page 41. So the primary responsibility of the United States Department of Defense is to protect and ensure our safety. In 2014, over 6 years ago, the Pentagon issued a chilling report titled The Climate Change Adaptation Roadmap. It stated that rising global temperatures, quotes, rising global temperatures, changing precipitation patterns, climbing sea levels, and more extreme weather events will intensify the challenges of global instability, hunger, poverty, and conflict. They will likely lead to food and water shortages, pandemic disease, disrupt disputes over refugees and resources, and destruction by natural disasters in regions across the globe. If you think having food shortages or supply shortages are bad now with the coronavirus pandemic, once we have more evolvement of what science has told us what was going to happen. The only mistake science made is they predicted what's happening. It was going to happen another 10 or 20 years down the road. The only thing that they got wrong was that it's happening so much sooner, and it's happening today, and the things that are happening today are going to accelerate, and they're going to get worse. And that's what science has told us, but now we are experiencing it. Mega hurricanes, mega wildfires, mega droughts, all over. 90 degrees in Siberia, 75 degrees in Alaska, 114 degrees in Paris, Australia engulfed in flames, severe heat waves and droughts. So one of the reasons why we're going to have pandemic diseases is 4 or 5 years ago, no one ever heard of the Zika virus up in North America. Now, with global warming, what happens? Zika virus is a mosquito-borne disease, and the scientists have told us as the global temperature increases, these tropical diseases will start going further north because it's warmer. So people in Florida and other southern states became more susceptible to giving birth to deformed babies with their heads kind of like squashed in and being retarded because of the Zika virus. So mosquito-borne and tick-borne diseases are going to be becoming more northerly, and they'll affect more of the other areas that were immune from it before. That's only one phase of a pandemic. And the food shortages I mentioned. Now, the United States Navy has also observed signs of increasing global warming in the form of rising sea levels due to the rapid acceleration of Arctic ice melt. They have been planning to build canals to move vulnerable ports further inland so that their vessels will not become unmoored or damaged when high tides and hurricanes occur. These actions are mentioned because they are clearly not politically motivated. They have been proposed because the Department of Defense must work strategically with all the data at its disposal to protect our safety. In their opinion, global warming is really happening. It is not a hoax. Page 41 in this little book. So that's for skeptics. And the coronavirus, what we're experiencing now with this pandemic, it's a clear and present danger, but it's also just a warning shot across our bow. We're not going to be able to come up with a vaccine against global climate change in extremes. We can help mitigate it, and this has a lot of ways to mitigate it. But most importantly, what needs to be understood, we have solutions. It's not like, oh, we got to invent something. I think the government needs to give incentivized tax credits or grants to develop even better ways than what we have today. But today, we know what we need to do to reduce the carbon emissions. This has been going on forever. Smog has been one of the big things. Okay, we could see smog. The smog has a yellowish tint because it contains sulfur. And so we've been able to reduce that with catalytic converters. Oh, it costs too much or whatever. Every car has one in the United States now. It's required. And it may cost a little bit more, but people are breathing better. We don't have as much toxicity and pollution in the air. And that's why with this horrendous global catastrophe facing us, there's hope. We can do it. We have solutions. We'll even get better solutions. It lacks one thing. It lacks political will. And that's all it takes. And it took a lot of political will to change around to fully address the coronavirus. And now we need that same will that hopefully the coronavirus is creating international cooperation. We're all going for the same goal. We're not fighting each other. We're trying to all do a job to help the situation. And now we can transfer that spirit of cooperation to establishing mitigating procedures